Coming up next, a show of support for Israel in our area as people react to the horror of the Hamas attacks.
And seeing families being ripped out of their kibbutz, babies, children, women, the elderly, it's so sad.
Plus, the dangerous job of reporting in a war zone. We talk with a Penn State alum who's a foreign correspondent in life-threatening places.
Physically, emotionally, mentally, and be able to bring back the stories that we have.
And a protest gets heated over a controversial visitor to Penn State's campus.
Hope you die.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon, I'm Shannon Tanzo.
And I'm Alex Rocco. Our top story, the latest on the Israeli-Hamas war after last weekend's terror attack by the militant group. At least 2,800 people are now dead in the latest war between Israel and Hamas, including 27 Americans. Israeli forces continue pounding Gaza with retaliation strikes, and now it's ordered more than 1 million people living in northern Gaza to evacuate. That's ahead of a possible Israeli ground invasion. Meanwhile, the United States government is starting its evacuation flights today to help Americans leave Israel. Around the world and here in Pennsylvania, people are showing their support for the victims at vigils and rallies. Reporter Cameron Lobley is live in our studio with more on the local reaction. Cameron?
Alex, as this conflict continues to rage on, voices of support are coming from people across Pennsylvania, including those here in Center County. This week, there was a vigil for Israel and an event supporting Palestinians, both in State College.
Israeli and Palestinian communities in Center County took to Penn State's campus this week in displays of solemnity and solidarity.
Peace! No justice! No peace!
On Tuesday, supporters of Israel gathered outside of Penn State's old main building. They held a vigil honoring lives lost and families endangered by the conflict. Candles on the Old Main steps were displayed as a Star of David. The somber mood of the night was matched by a sense of community. Speakers called on the audience to embrace Israeli and Jewish pride.
This is not a time to hide your Jewish pride. This is not a time to take off your Jewish symbol or your kippah, and this is no time for fear.
Among the attendees was State College Mayor and Jewish community member Ezra Nanes. The mayor, when speaking at the event, called the war a detriment to all groups involved.
And these attacks not only cause unimaginable suffering for the people of Israel, they cause unimaginable suffering for the people of Gaza as well.
Thursday night, Palestinian community members and supporters took to College Avenue, signs and chants making their message clear. The war will only end when Israel leaves Gaza.
Palestine will be free!
The rally was not without protest. Across the street, Israeli community members setting candles and unfurling their flag. The display was countered with a member of the rally stepping toward the group with a Palestinian flag, although no direct altercation had occurred afterwards.
And security is also a concern around the U.S. today. Penn State University says police know of no threats against campus communities, but it will have an extra police presence as needed. And it warned if any activity escalates beyond nonviolent engagement, law enforcement is ready to intervene.
Thanks, Cameron. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro ordered U.S. and Commonwealth flags around the state lowered to half-staff through today to honor the lives lost in Israel. And as the war drags on, Penn State students with ties to the region are watching the developments and reacting with strong opinions. Carlos Garcia reports.
Two countries torn apart by war. Bomb sirens ringing through the skies as rockets rain down. After the militant group Hamas invaded Israel, the two bitter enemies are now engaged in bloodshed that's claimed thousands of lives. Hamas is also holding hostages in Gaza and threatening to kill them.
I think it's scores of hostages. I can tell you there's also American hostages as part of that number as well. But these are women, they're children, they're elderly, they're Holocaust survivors. This is sick.
Back here at home, many Jews have deep connections to Israel. Hannah Budin is a Jewish Penn State student who traveled to Israel on her birthright trip. She says it's troubling to see what she calls her beautiful home country torn apart.
And seeing families being ripped out of their kibbutz, babies, children, women, the elderly, it's so sad.
Those living in Israel, like Shahaf Shafir, see the horror firsthand. In a text interview, she spoke out strongly against Hamas, saying, quote, animals that slaughter, rape, and brutally torture innocent people, women, children, and elderly, and celebrate their death, documenting it online while laughing in the background, are not freedom fighters. They are nothing but soulless demons that never wanted peace. Palestinians see it differently. Penn State student Haneen Shath grew up in Gaza and still has family there.
Okay. As a Palestinian of Gaza, I can tell you that growing up in Gaza means that you are growing up in a prison that you cannot escape at all.
Two sides of a war that may only get worse. I'm Carlos Garcia for the Center County Report.
For those reporting the latest news from Israel and Gaza, it's potentially a life-threatening job. Reporter Jay Sobardo talked with a Penn State alum who's a foreign correspondent and has been in war zones.
You've seen it on TV this week, journalists in Israel taking cover and taking precautions as they report on the escalating violence. It's a dangerous job for the foreign correspondents, bringing us the latest video and information. Alex Hogan knows the drill. She's a Penn State grad who's now the London correspondent for Fox News. Hogan has spent time in Ukraine covering that war in the rubble of demolished homes and buildings. Despite the danger, it's part of the job.
The government might be telling people you need to get out, you need to flee. And as journalists, it's our responsibility to go to those areas and tell the stories of people who physically cannot leave.
With so much misinformation on social media now, Hogan says having journalists on scene is essential.
It's crucial to have journalists on the ground to be able to be the eyes, the ears, and bring those stories back from a trusted media organization.
And people suffering from the attacks are relying on worldwide media to tell their stories and issue a cry for help.
Thank you, all the institutions of the world that help kidnap civilians.
Judy Maltz is an Israeli news journalist who taught at Penn State. She says simply being a journalist can put a target on your back.
It is very dangerous for journalists because there are still terrorists roaming around that area, shooting at everything in sight. So you have to be really careful.
In State College, I'm Jay Sobardo for the Center County Report.
Alex Hogan tells us she'll likely head to Israel at some point soon to cover the war there.
Israel is proud of its military and its defense of the country against outside attackers. Back in 2018, our Penn State International Reporting team spent time in Israel and had rare access to a unique military unit near the Egyptian border. Known as the Caracal Battalion, it's made up of mostly women. Before 2000, women were banned from combat in Israel. Now, they fight on the front lines.
I told them, you choose it. You need to be strong. Be here if you want to be here. If you don't, go. It's tough for women. Everyone can be a warrior, a good warrior and a good commander if they train and if they care about it.
While Caracal is a mixed gender battalion, it's been about 70% women for almost 15 years.
After recent anti-Jewish hate messages turned up in State College, police are still searching for the suspects. The messages were left in several neighborhoods, including near a Jewish Borough Council member's home. Police say it wasn't the only incident in Pennsylvania. Police say if you have any information that can help with this case, call them or submit a tip on their website.
On a much more positive note, Penn State Hillel is receiving a gift of more than $2 million to support Jewish life and events on campus. Hillel was established in 2004 by Hal and Inga Marcus. Inga gave the new gift to launch new initiatives, reach more of the community, and to build new relationships. He hopes the money helps the 5,000 Jewish students at Penn State.
It's homecoming week at Penn State, but the weather is about to change. The forecast is coming up next.
And fire shuts down a popular State College restaurant.
Also coming up, an event with a controversial speaker ends with 2 people in handcuffs at Penn State.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station. Get the PBS Video app now and stream the best of PBS anytime, anywhere.
We care about things that affect the lives of every American.
We are there at the front line
to get to the heart of what really matters in every issue.
This country has not seen this in 80 years.
This extraordinary moment in American history.
You're making such a huge impact.
Trust is at the heart of what we do.
A well-known restaurant in downtown State College is closed after a fire. Alpha fire crews rushed to the scene at the Waffle Shop on College Avenue on Tuesday night. It's not yet clear how the fire started. Several nearby businesses were evacuated too. Nobody was hurt. The Waffle Shop is closed until the cleanup is finished.
Police are still searching for the suspects in a deadly shooting near a Western Pennsylvania university. One person died and 8 were injured in the shooting at a community center near Indiana University of Pennsylvania early Sunday. Police believe there was more than one shooter and it began as some kind of confrontation.
A former collegiate swimmer who's become nationally known for her stance against transgender women competing in women's sports held an event at Penn State this week. Emily McGlynn reports.
Trans lives matter! More than 100 people turned out as former University of Kentucky swimmer Riley Gaines made an appearance at Penn State. Young Americans for Freedom and Turning Point USA paid nearly $3,000 for her to speak. Through her social media following, Gaines created what she calls Real Women's Day to recognize biological women. The outspoken swimmer gained national attention by advocating that transgender females should not be allowed to compete in women's sports. Supporters and protesters showed up on the Hub lawn.
Males should not be competing in women's sports, even if they identify as women. I think there's very clear biological advantages.
Trans women are women. It's as simple as that. Riley Gaines is just an attention-seeking.
In a post on X, Gaines accused Penn State of canceling the event. The university responded by saying it did not cancel the event, but that organizers missed the event deadline to request indoor space. Things got heated as protesters shouted and flipped over a table.
That's on camera, right? Hope you die. Hey, Jesus loves you, right?
Police took away 2 people in handcuffs. It's unknown if they'll face charges. Gaines competed against the first openly trans woman in D1 sports, Leah Thomas. They tied for 5th place at an NCAA championship last year. Gaines now travels the country speaking about transgender athletes. In State College, I'm Emily McGlynn for the Center County Report.
University police have confirmed the 2 individuals detained at the event were not students and will be issued summary citations.
It's homecoming weekend at Penn State with the annual homecoming parade set for tonight. Reporter Carly Knowlton has more on the festivities.
Penn State's homecoming is one of the largest student-run organizations in the country. Best of Penn State, commonly known as BOPS, was celebrated on the Hub lawn from 2 to 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Guests were able to check out all of the activities and games for everyone to enjoy. April Comal, the executive director for Penn State Homecoming, said that the turnout this week has been unlike any other.
Our attendance numbers this week are up by the hundreds more than they were last year, so I'm really excited. We have a lot of engagement. When we checked 2 hours into the event, we had 2,500 people.
Catherine Irving, a 5th-year master's student, loves how homecoming unites the entire community.
It's nice seeing a bunch of alumni come back that I'm very close with, and it's also nice watching everyone on campus put it together. It's just so special to see all the Penn State pride and all the love throughout so many years.
The Best of Penn State Carnival is just one of the many events taking place this week for homecoming. A lot of students said that they are very excited for the parade parade on Friday night, but are even more excited for the game on Saturday against UMass.
Two carnival goers, Emmett Helmstetter and Ethan Levin, said they loved their first homecoming carnival, but are looking forward to the game on Saturday.
The whole team has been looking great. You know, they're in mid-season form right now and couldn't support a better team right now, so.
Homecoming is meant to honor the pride and tradition of Penn State, while also remembering this year's theme, Illuminate the Line Within. I'm Carly Knowlton for the Center County Report.
The parade starts tonight at 6 p.m., making its way at the IM building and will travel downtown to College Ave, ending at the Nittany Lion Shrine.
Well, good afternoon, Center County. I'm student meteorologist David Guerrero, and we had a fairly dry week so far, but that won't be the case for this weekend as rainy conditions is on its way. But as of right now, we're starting off our day in a beautiful way. Temperatures are at 52 degrees, a nice and seasonal feel. Then the dew points are 39, so it's really nearly dry, so have the chapsticks ready to go. But I mentioned seasonal temperatures, and this is the name of the game for the rest of the state. Temperatures are 57 in Williamsport, 55 in Bradford, 56 in Scranton, and 58 in Allentown. But the seasonal temperatures will not persist into the weekend as cold air is on its way. More on that later in the forecast. But as of right now, mostly sunny conditions. But I want to direct our attention to the states in the Midwest, such as Illinois, Iowa, and Minnesota. Right now, a low pressure system is currently churning and is really going to affect us in this upcoming weekend with rain and wind. But as of right now for today, temperatures will be at 54 degrees as we start the homecoming parade. Just a beautiful setup to see friends, family, and alumni. But then in the overnight hours, the clouds will start to develop. Then in the early morning, the rain will barrel through. Temperatures will be at 42 degrees as the northerly winds from the low pressure system will bring in that Canadian air, bringing us chilly conditions throughout. So it will be rainy. How much rain? I'd say 0.5 to 1.5 inches of rain is expected throughout the day on Saturday. Then this low pressure system will then meander its way off to the Atlantic, but we should still feel scattered showers for Sunday. When it's not raining on Sunday, we should have overcast conditions as it will dominate Sunday. Then rain will continue for the next few days. More on that in the 7-day forecast coming up. But for today, temperatures will be at 62 degrees, nice and sunny. Just a beautiful day overall. Just for the homecoming parade, temperatures will be at 44 degrees, increasing cloud cover as we start Saturday. Then that rain will come through, bringing us chilly conditions as well. Temperatures will be at 47 degrees. It will also be a little bit breezy as winds will be near 10 degrees. So have a windbreaker ready to go. Then heading into our 7-day forecast, scattered showers on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday, a cutoff low will develop off the Chesapeake Bay. But overall temperatures will remain below average. Shannon, wet and dreary conditions will be the best way to describe the next week.
David, I have to say, I have been loving the consistent fall weather this week, but I am really not looking forward to a rain game tomorrow.
I'm also not looking forward to the rain game, and especially that cold weather. The weather's been really nice in State College, but definitely curious to see how the rain affects State College and Penn State tomorrow. Now let's send it over to Olivia with sports.
Thanks, guys. Coming up in sports, after more than 3 decades leading her team, a beloved Penn State retired coach is being honored in a big way. Also coming up, we look ahead to the unbeaten Nittany Lions and tomorrow's matchup against UMass.
My skin, think it's time I find my place here.
Fasten your seatbelt.
You're taking my breath away.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Amazing.
Well, what are you waiting for?
You belong here. This is your home.
What is your sense now of the humanitarian situation?
This is making me emotional.
This experience I'm going to carry with me the rest of my life.
I'll always be so grateful for everything you did for me.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I'm Olivia Dunn with sports. Penn State football returns to Beaver Stadium tomorrow to take on UMass for the annual homecoming game. We caught up with Coach James Franklin as he gets the team ready.
Penn State football and thousands of alumni return home this weekend for homecoming. The opponent, UMass, landing at number 4 on ESPN's bottom 10 list. But Coach James Franklin says his team has practiced like it's taking on a top 4 team.
We're starting to kind of really figure out how to practice at a really high level on a consistent basis, and whether it's football or any other industry or sport, you know, being really successful is about consistency, right?
All eyes will be on the offense, which ranks number 11 on the NCAA's scoring offense rankings, despite critics citing their lack of explosiveness. Several offensive line players are swapping spots, including Caden Wallace and Drew Shelton. Franklin said Shelton's transition helped move the unit forward.
So I think at first, Shelton, that transition going from left side to right side was hard on him. But he's adjusted really well, and you know, I think our coaches and his teammates have a lot of confidence in his ability to do it.
It's definitely an adjustment. I'm just trying to embrace it. You're going to have your ups and your downs, and you know, everything, you got to take it with a grain of salt. We're going against a bunch of really good DNs, and they're preparing me for whatever we're going to see this week.
Kickoff tomorrow is just after 3:30, and you can listen live to the game on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team at Beaver Stadium. Now let's take a look at this week's high school football matchups around the area. Coming off a win at Carlisle, the 5-1 State College Little Lions are back at home tonight to take on Harrisburg. The Cougars are 6-1. Kickoff is at 7. Also tonight, the Penns Valley Rams travel to Somerset to face off the Eagles. The Rams are 4-3, while the Eagles are 3-4. You can catch highlights from these games tonight at 11:30 on After the Whistle. That's on our Belisario Student Media YouTube channel. Penn State men's hockey is on the road in New York again, looking for another non-conference win. The team is 1-0 after beating Long Island University last weekend. The Lions face Clarkson University tonight in Potsdam for the 5th time in school history. The Golden Knights are 1-1 on the young season. A popular retired Penn State coach will soon have her name immortalized on the university's field hockey complex. Destiny Sanchez talks with her.
After 36 years as Penn State's field hockey coach, Charmarette Curtis's name will be on the team's newly renovated athletic complex.
It's very emotional, still emotional when I think about it.
She retired last year after coming to Penn State in 1975 as a player. Charmarette Curtis Field is a part of a project to upgrade locker rooms, a ticket office, concession areas, a press box and broadcast booth, and more. The field will seat 1,200 fans.
And I felt like I won the Oscar, and I had no idea, am I thanking the right people? I didn't have my script. But, I just was overwhelmed.
New coach Lisa Bervenchek-Love says it is well-deserved.
My first thought was, how do we get Char's name on the field? Because she has given so much of herself, her heart and soul.
And she's just a coach that has had so much trust in me and has put so much confidence in me, and has also challenged me.
Marette Curtis now leads an initiative called Teammates for Life, an effort to support women's athletics.
I left something that I loved. I loved coaching. I was passionate about it, and especially at Penn State. And then to be able to leave that position and go into starting this Teammates for Life of Penn State Women's Athletics Initiative.
She hopes to bring her passion to that project as she did for the field hockey team. In University Park, I'm Destiny Sanchez for the Center County Report.
The field hockey complex is expected to be finished for next year's season. Red October is going strong as the Phillies are moving on to the National League Championship Series. The champagne was flowing and fans were singing after the Phils took the series with a 3-1 win against the Braves last night. Philly takes on the Arizona Diamondbacks at home for NLCS Game 1 on Monday. That's going to do it for me at sports. Now back to you guys at the anchor desk.
I mean, these are really such exciting times, especially for Penn State field hockey. They are such a deserving team, and I can't wait to see what the complex looks like when it's finished.
That's exactly right, and I'm super excited for the Penn State game tomorrow against UMass, but how could you not be excited for the Phillies? Red October sweeping the nation. Super excited to see how they fare against the Diamondbacks in the next series. Thanks, Olivia. See what a Pennsylvania college student did to make formal season more affordable for other students. That's after the break.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Support your PBS station and you can get Passport, giving you full seasons, early releases, special collections, and more. Get the PBS Video app now and stream the best of PBS anytime, anywhere.
We care about things that affect the lives of every American.
We are there at the front lines
to get to the heart of what really matters in every issue.
This country has not seen this in 80 years.
This extraordinary moment in American history.
You're making such a huge impact.
Trust is at the heart of what we do.
It's about that time again. Formals, homecomings, date parties. The downside is, buying a new dress for every event can get expensive. But Villanova University student Alina Rubin took that challenge and made it an opportunity. Promoting sustainability and saving money, tonight's dress allows you to rent dresses from students on campus. Caitlin McKenna joined Rubin's mission as the company's Penn State campus representative.
I know people love borrowing their clothes from their friends, and it's this is kind of borrowing your clothes from your friends, but large. Yeah.
To begin browsing, you can download tonight's dress on the App Store. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Tuesday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.
This is a moment. There's a whole wide world out there.
This is a battlefield.
The river is the most important part of nature.
Humans have never done this before.
So many senses have come alive. We go with what the environment gives us. We are supposed to protect it.
It's a real drama, and it's unfolding right in front of you.
This will show us so many things that we just haven't seen.
Change is coming.
Start a new adventure as big as you imagine.